Memory is thought processing itself into an emotional response. That's how you behave based on PTSD. Now, the event is not happening again, but it feels like it is, and that's what PTSD does. So what you need to do with the thoughts and the processing of the thoughts and the emotion is weaken your response to the trauma. Hello and welcome to another segment of The Tortured Superhero. My name is Desiree Shaw and I'm a psychotherapist. I vlog and I podcast about men's mental health, linking it to the Marvel Comics superheroes. I'm on a mission to make therapy accessible and change the world one thought at a time. In my last segment of The Tortured Superhero, I discussed PTSD and Logan, Wolverine, how he suffers and what PTSD looks like. In this segment, I'm going to talk about how you can tackle it. So, how to deal with PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder. The flashbacks of PTSD, the horror and the event of the pain and suffering happening all over again. That's what PTSD is. We see it in Logan. Logan, the infamous Wolverine, my most favoured superhero. Dealing with PTSD is facing the threat, okay? Facing the threat and the fear, okay? That is the key to dealing with it. But not actually the fear of the problem, but the flashbacks and seeing what you see when you close your eyes at night or when you lay down or when you're triggered. It's facing those things, okay? Because the trauma has already happened and passed. PTSD is the aftermath of that. So dealing with it is dealing with the aftermath of that. So a flashback is a memory, and that's all it is. Memory is thought processing itself into an emotional response. That's how you behave based on PTSD. Now, the event is not happening again, but it feels like it is, and that's what PTSD does. So what you need to do with the thoughts and the processing of the thoughts and the emotion is weaken your response to the trauma, because the trauma has already happened. So it's weakening your response to what you're triggered by. Bleed the story out slowly, okay? Don't avoid the trauma by pushing it down. Let the story out slowly. When I have a client with PTSD, telling the story is the first part of the healing. So PTSD is like an infection on top of a wound. The wound cannot heal until you get rid of the infection. PTSD is the infection. Then you can heal what's happened and taken place in the trauma. So I say to my clients, you deal with that infection before you deal with the wound. So just like an infection, you start with the immediate contact of the infection, okay? The top layer. Yeah, that's the ending part. That's the story of the end of the story, removing that, but that's what's happening right now. So you can recognize that you're through the trauma, it's already happened, you're no longer suffering, this is where you are. Then the next part is dealing with the middle part. This is when it gets a little bit tetchy, and you remove that. So you take off the first layer first, and that's the here and now, that's happening right now. Then you go to the middle part, and then you're going to get closer to the wound, closer to the flesh, closer to what's actually happening. And this is the infection that is in close contact to the wound. That's when it's probably going to be the most painful. But that is what you deal with last of all when you're dealing with PTSD, because that is when the healing can happen once you've removed that. So you don't go to the very beginning of the trauma when you first start to deal with it. You start with the end, then you start with them, then you continue with the middle, then you go to the beginning. So you go backwards in a story. It's like scooping off the top of an ice cream. So you have an ice cream in a cone, you take the top bit first, you take that off, then you got the middle bit, you take that off, then you see when you get to that bit, when you're just about to touch the cone, that is the end part of you dealing with PTSD. So once you've removed it, the healing can begin. So the fear and anxiety and depression and the shame of the incident, all of the painful things that have taken place during the removal of the infection is also a part of the healing process. So it's important that you recognize all of that. It's never going to be a happy thing to do, but when you do it, it will be a release, and you'll recognize you actually got through it because you're here anyway. That's the trick of dealing with PTSD, realizing you're here. You dealt with it already. All the rest of the stuff is its thoughts processing itself, coming out in emotional reaction. So this is something that you must do with a trained professional. I would say to you, recognize that you need the help and see somebody that can help you. So just like Logan, you survived, okay? And that is the magic of uncovering PTSD. You recognize your strength and realize that you can let go. You can. So Logan receives some help, but his suspicions stop him from accepting the help. That is so common. And once you realize that you're stopping your very self, you can stop stopping yourself and allow yourself to receive the help. So get in contact with somebody who can help. And that is how you deal with PTSD. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Desiree Shaw. I'm a psychotherapist. I vlog and I podcast about men's mental health and mental health in general. I have a podcast on a Monday and a Friday. Tortured Superhero comes out on a Monday and Relationship SOS comes out on a Friday. And in between, you will see some more of me. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure and you hit the bell so that you are notified and you know when I am coming out with a video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Desiree Shaw. I'm on a mission to make therapy accessible and change the world one thought at a time. I mean that, you know. I mean that, you know. I mean that, you know. I'm hungry, you know. I'm hungry, you know. I need some food.
It's so good.
One of the things that happen in post-traumatic stress. It's a different language. It's called the Shode language. It's a bit like going to Asus de la Selle. Have you ever been there? Asus de la Selle. It's a new boutique online. And you figure it out. Asus. Okay, so.
I want the 2 claps.
I can't.
Too bad. You're gonna have to do it. Do you want me to do it?
He's so mean. Do you see that? So, thank you, Guinea.
Is it bad?
I'm keeping you. How? I like you, How, and I like you, Guinea. I'm not sure that and you.
Like you all.
Do you see? You see, I'm going to turn to a tongue. I'm not doing it now. Not unless you're nice to me. If you ask me nicely, turn around, don't turn around. But if you don't ask me nicely, I'm not turning around. I'm not. I'm not going to do it. You better be nice to me. Say nice things.
That's it, stay there.
This is how I'm going to do my face for the whole vlog.
Alright, put it on F2.
Guinea did my face. He did my face, look, he did my face. Tell them to subscribe.
Click subscribe, which...
It's over there.
Click up there to subscribe and to see more videos. They're here. You know what to do?
Just like the exit.